Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wassalam ala Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Originally, I did have a big PowerPoint presentation for this. But I feel like in this topic, it's good to engage with the audience just to get some perspective. Because I can sit here all social media and these apps. But I've done quite a few times for work, for organizations. But I feel like somehow the message is not getting through. It's like in one ear, out the other ear. And people are desensitized to listening to advice. And then what happens is you'll take maybe 1 point away, and then you'll go away, and then the whole message is lost. That's the first point. Second point is, when I thought about this, I've been dealing with a lot of cases with brothers and sisters. So cases involving brothers and sisters, divorces, behavioral issues with children, recently through our faith clinic. And one of the common denominators was social media. And whichever way you look at it, this has a massive, massive impact on our lives. I think it's fair to say we're now living in times of damage limitation. We're past that time. I think the boat has sailed now, where we can say, can we avoid this now? It's impossible to avoid any fitan, any fahisha, anything like this now. Now it's about damage limitation. And I was talking to a group of brothers the other day, and just before I was writing this presentation, and one of them said, I use social media to, it gives a good Islamic reminders and stuff. And I reminded him of one of the sheikhs I was listening to. He said, taking deen and getting your deen from social media is like walking into a house that's burning with a glass of water. That's how much benefit you're going to get. Gone are the times where people now sit with shaykh, sit with people of knowledge and ilm, and take knowledge. Them days are gone. Now it's a quick dopamine fix, quick YouTube, quick short video, get our quick reminder, and then off we go. And that's the times we're living in. And when I said damage limitation, I'll give you some live examples, because it's important to understand, not just me giving you some PowerPoint presentation. I've got like loads of these slides that I can go through, hundreds of these slides that I go through regularly every month. But like I said, I don't think the message is getting through. So I'll give you some live examples. Last few cases I dealt with divorce. Wallahi, 100% have some sort of social media presence and have a direct effect in that divorce. Of the last few cases with children, 100%, not even 99, is to do with social media. I was dealing with a case, I'll give you a live example, only 3-4 days ago with a kid, a normal kid that I'd seen grow up. He basically was a normal child. And up until his parents decided, now is the time, he's 12 years old, mashallah, past puberty, become baligh, let's give him a smartphone. Within that 2 years, he's been arrested, kicked out of 4 mainstream schools, nobody will take him. In dealing drugs, and it started off not just dealing drugs, like working the county lines. His whole thing was the parents, overlooked this thing. He's only taken 1 puff of a vape. It's not really harmful. And so their damage limitation, the whole household is now turned upside down. They can't find anywhere to educate him. And he's now sat at home And I asked them, why do you not just take the device off him? And their point was, he has 3 younger siblings, and if they take the device off him, it's like a switch. It flicks in his brains and he turns the whole house upside down. And to the point that, look at the parents. The parents are looking for solutions somewhere else. The mother told me day before yesterday, she's registered him to see if he's got ADHD. I said, Ya akhti, what ADHD? He hasn't had it for 13 years of his life. Because of your irresponsibility, you need to take some responsibility for this child. You're looking for fixes somewhere else, and she knows that put him on the spectrum, and for them to diagnose him is going to take 2 years. So now she's got a get-out clause for 2 years. She's looking for the doctors to diagnose him. The diagnostic is very, very simple. Should not give him that in the first place. And now we're in a situation where now we've given the smartphones. What do? Almost every person, every family I deal with has no clue of what their kids are watching online. I could give you some stats about devices. If I asked the audience here, how many people would openly allow their kids to watch porn, allow their kids to watch violent movies, anything of this nature, not one person will put their hand up. But you've put a gun in your child's hand, and now when they're shooting the gun, you're coming back and saying, what do? It's too late. You've already armed them with the gun and the bullets. They've just got to put the bullets in. I think the stats now, if I'm not mistaken, are by the time, before the kids reach puberty, by the time they're 9, I think, almost 90% of kids, 70 to 90% have watched some sort of porn and have had access to some sort of material. And we can dress it up however we like, but I ask anybody here with any social media app, how much haram do you have to flick through to get through an Islamic reminder? We ask ourselves, wallahi, like I have social media for my businesses and I dread going on some of these apps. And then we get on to what these apps show. It's not just how they dress it up. For example, most of your kids will probably have access to Roblox or some of these games. I recently saw, I don't know if it was a tweet or a video of the CEO introducing new features, to make the game better. A dating feature in Roblox. We're talking about 6-year-olds that have access to this game, and there's a chat feature on there. And recently, I just watched, there was a gang of pedophiles that had got access to Roblox, and they're acting like kids, and they met up with these kids to abuse them. And these kids don't know. So what they do is, how they trap you is, these kids, a 6-7-year-old kid's not going to have, any idea who's on the other end of that chat box. So you enable that chat box, and then what happens? It's enabled by default, by the way. So you enable that chat box, and they have this trust in this phantom person. They don't know how old that person is. Now, their whole trust and their whole system is geared around trusting this person. And once they've gained your trust, they will meet up with you in parks. They will do all sorts of nonsense with these kids, and the parents haven't got a clue. They'll meet up after school. Roblox is putting in a feature. The CEO is actually thinking of putting a dating feature. So, I ask you, a game that's built for kids, what benefit could a dating feature have? And they said, basically, we need to teach our kids. We need to teach our kids about the dangers. Look how they twist the words. We're going to teach our kids about sexuality. You need to be ahead of the game. TikTok recently was sold to an Israeli firm. TikTok originally was Chinese. Now it's been sold on to an Israeli firm. Most of the tech, Facebook, Instagram, all of them, they're all owned by Israeli tech. So they're there to corrupt your children. So recently they've taken over TikTok. Now, TikTok is targeted. So what I see in TikTok in the UK, and then when I travel to the USA, and when I travel to Europe, I see different spectrums of what if I have a TikTok app. When I come back to the UK, say from China, I see some nasty videos, or I'll see some, laugh and joking, how to pay pranks on your parents. If I go to China, and I've been there, and I switch on TikTok, it's about videos, and it's about education, it's about maths videos, about science, how do I teach my kids? Those are targeted at the Islamic community. This is not like this is a war on Islam. This is not something by random or by chance that you're going to get something. When you're flicking through reels and you're getting, these are not there by chance. These are there because you've signed up, your name is Mohammed, you've put your age in, and you've put your details in, they've verified you, and now they're going to target you with nonsense. So your kids are being targeted by these online predators. So what can we do? What can we do? So first thing I ask any parents is, what controls have you got in place? And I recently did this a couple of months ago. I was sat with some parents. I think 95% of them had no control. They have no idea. It's because they're not technical. They don't know anything about technology. So their kids are sat there. And I'm giving this advice to the to the parents. And one of the parents was sat there, and his kid's messing around like kids do. He's a 4 or 5-year-old. And I'm sat there giving him advice on how to lock down their devices. And because the child's been a child, the brother pulls out his phone and gives his phone to the 4 or 5-year-old kid. And I'm sat there looking, I'm thinking like, I'm advising you, and and just by chance, now the kid's flicking through reels now, he's going through shorts, YouTube shorts, and a nasty video comes on, and you can hear it. And I'm looking at this parent, I'm thinking like, as I'm giving you advice, you've now, just to shut the kid up, put him in front of a TV or something else, you've given him a device that you have no idea why you've given him that advice. It's just automatically, you give him a device, and now you've got some sukoon, you've got no headache from the child, and now they're doing whatever they've got to do. And this is what it leads to. It leads to complete and utter destruction. Recently, not just children, adults. Recently I had a case, a divorce case, brothers and sisters, 20 years of marriage, 4 kids, decided, not that it's just we've drifted apart. And the brothers come to me and I said, look, let's try one mediation session, see if we can do something. One of the ulama was there. He asked me, look, can you come in and mediate? I said, khalas, no problem. So I've come in. It's shocking. The sisters getting advice of other sisters. To hell with this geezer. 20 years of marriage, 4 kids later. To hell with this. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get the house. You're gonna get he's gonna be leaving, and you're gonna get everything. This law is geared towards, and that sister's not having it. And these sisters are advising on a Facebook group to this sister that you don't need him now. 20 years, wow, just like that. You don't need him. He doesn't need the father. You're going to get child benefits. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. And now, all of a sudden now, the sister's not even contemplating getting back together. She's now deciding, how can I get out of this? And now, we've got divorce. And the divorce rates here, the brothers will go through, I don't want to steal their thunder, but the divorce rates are huge at the moment. Every single case that's coming here is a divorce rate case. It's just shocking. Amongst the youth, I'm just shocked. I was dealing with a case only about 4 months ago. The marriage lasted 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and it's because, and wallahi, the kid was a hafiz of Quran, and the sister came to me, and she found explicit content on his phone. She goes, I just can't deal with it. And when she showed me, wallahi, some of the stuff on there was just despicable. And he was addicted from an early age. His parents decided, the kids are not ready for marriage. So the parents decided, let's just chuck him into a marriage. That'll fix all problems. And so now we're getting to a situation where, I briefly touched on apps within these phones. If I was to say to you, most people's, generally when you wind down in the evening, what do? You get this smartphone and you put it next to your bedside cabinet, put it on charge, put the alarm on for Fajr, and that's it, you go to sleep. Wallahi, like I've been in tech and cybersecurity and in development for 25 years. I can tell you now, I can put an app on any one of you've connected to our Wi-Fi. I can put an app right now on your smartphone, and in the middle of the night when you're with your wife, I can switch that app on and you give me camera access. That's how dangerous these apps are. And any app you've given microphone and camera access to, you've basically given full access to the world, to your bedroom. These are the dangers. And we don't even know it. Most people don't know the dangers of these apps. Recently, I was reading a study. I think 75% of the apps are designed and implemented from Israel. Most of the tech companies are owned by Israeli tech companies. Most of the apps are developed over there, and most of the spyware and everything else comes over from Israel. And this is just another nail in the coffin for the ummah. Because what we're doing is, we can go to all the rallies we want, we could do whatever, flag for Palestine and whatever, but we've got to fix ourselves first. Before you try and fix bigger problems, you need to try and fix yourselves. So, what are the things, I've got a big PowerPoint here, but I'm not going to go it through all. What are the big things that we can take away, and what are the practical things that we can do as brothers to protect our children? First of all, I know some of us are already there. Once you've delivered that smartphone to your kids, it's very hard to take it away. First of all, you should have some sort of monitoring app. You should have something. I've got an app where, I've got nothing to hide. My family knows where I am all the time. I know where my kids are all the time. My kids are older. So even my kids is like 20 plus now, we still have this family sharing app. If they need to know where I am, they can't get into it. They can go through an app and it shares my location, shows where I am. You need to basically lock down these devices. You as parents need to understand what's on these devices. You need to have parental controls. So not just on the devices, on the router, on your internet connection, every single aspect that comes through a cable and through Wi-Fi into some sort of device on your children's apps, you need to be locking those down. You need to understand what they're watching, whether you want to monitor it physically or you want to monitor it through an app. You need to turn on filters. You need to turn on, for example, I set it up for a parent only a few weeks ago, and it's the first time he's ever locked down his kid's device. And mashallah, his kids, may Allah bless them, they're very, very sensible kids. He brought them up right. And not only recently, he's put a smartphone on, and they're 16 years old. And the kid's very innocent. So I put an app on there. So even when he Google searches, the parent gets a copy of the Google search. So obviously, the younger kid who's just turning baligh, he's the young kids now searching, because obviously, some of the kids, they can't speak to the parents. So we run workshops, when they become baligh, what they need to do, how do they cleanse, tahara, and all this sort of stuff. The kids now Googling about tahara, what do I do, how do I shave, that sort of stuff. Now the parents, wallahi, the parents come to me and he goes, look, my son's Googling this. I said, because have you talked to him? So this is a positive spin on how when you put controls on, you understand what your kid's searching for. He's searching for good content. Not all of them are searching for bad content, and his intentions are good. So he's searching for good content. So I said, look, put him on a tahara course, so he needs to understand how to cleanse himself. So maybe he's embarrassed as a father to speak to you. So the brother took him to some brothers, some uncles, and they explained to him. So when you put on content filters and you understand what they're searching for, these are one of the things that are positive, and you can take some positives from this, so you understand what your kids are doing. Disable any game. Wallahi, these kids are monged out. I mean, even my own kids, I try to limit now. I've got a time limit, even though like they're 19, 20. The games are just a complete waste of time. Before, back in the day, I won't go back decades because then I'll show my age. Well, back in the day, you used to have cricket, football. Actually, we're way past that time. They don't watch that stuff anymore. This is just, like, you'll see and you'll do it yourself. You'll do, and this dopamine fix and this trigger in your brain will say, you'll come out the shower, you got a towel wrapped around you, you got a dressing gown on. Wallahi, and you're sat there and you're just flicking through for no reason. Brothers are sitting, they've sat there on the edge of the bed and they're flicking through the phone. They haven't even got changed. They haven't even got there, wallahi, and they're flicking through the phone. And he goes, I've sat there for 25 minutes flicking through the phone. I don't know why. Like, there was a trigger in his brain, I need to get this. And he started off, somebody was going to send him a WhatsApp location of where to meet up. But he ended up just going through reels and reels 25 minutes later. And now he's late for the appointment. Do you see what I mean? So, like, it's not like, you're going out looking for this stuff. It's just something that you're just, you're inadvertently, you're addicted to this stuff and you don't even know it. The first thing we don't know is we're addicted to these devices. We don't even know why. Starts off with simple WhatsApp and text. Well, if I can go back to Nokia 6310s or whatever they were, I'd go back to that. Saved me a lot of time anyway. So we've talked about filters. Teach the children, wallahi, sit with them and teach them. If you're not going to be able to take the device away, sit with them and see what content they're watching and go through what they need the smartphone for. Disable any apps they don't need. Disable location and microphone, especially camera and microphone. And I advise any brother, when you go into the bedroom or you go into private spaces, wallahi, put it on flight mode. Don't give, even when you put it on flight mode, there's certain apps, spyware, that can switch cameras on. So turn the whole thing off, turn it upside down so that you can't see the camera, because you can have spyware that can switch these cameras on. There's spyware now that can switch these cameras on. So monitoring and understanding, and there was this thing, because this number 7 thing was about reporting. Wallahi, like, it's such a situation now where even reporting these sort of things, you'll be reported to prevent. So we're in a situation now as Muslims, you report anything, or you're being too strict, or you're putting restrictions on, it's classed as 2 things. 1, coercive behavior, and the brothers will tell you about that. And number 2, I've seen people who have tried to do the right thing, and because their kids are now at that situation where they're older, they've reported their own parents to prevent. And these are the times we live in, Akhi. I think my time is up, but we are going to do a workshop soon, inshallah. We're going to do a specific workshop on how to actually lock down devices, how to lock down routers, lock down all these apps, and then hopefully help brothers and sisters in the right direction.